all over here at the Thornbury Surfacing Stadium with Chippenham manager Gary Horgan. Gary, a very dramatic game, but the end result 4-1 Dartford. Talk us through that one, mate.
It's a tough one really, because they brought exactly what we knew they would bring, in terms of, we knew that if they got set pieces, we may struggle just with their height and physicality. We said that all along, but I felt we were really well equipped to deal with it. First penalty, I think every other day of the week it gets given as a coming together, as a block off in the box, but as soon as he gives it, like I said, our real bright start of 20 minutes sort of is cancelled out by a referee's decision, and then that goal sort of shook us a little bit, and we stopped doing the things that had served us really well in that first 20 minutes, switching the ball, getting Eddie out, getting crosses into the box, ball into the box. And yeah, so that shook us for a little bit, and then the ref gives another one which we've watched back, and we knew it was outside of the box at the time. I don't want to speak badly of the refs, but it's getting more and more difficult not to each week, because I think they're just ruining the games. I really do. I'm going to say that because we've got beat today, but I think, to jump from that decision, it's not a penalty. It's outside the box. I've spoken to him about it. I'm not disputing whether or not it's a foul, because he gave the first one as a coming together. It was exactly the same. But it's outside the box. He's not in a position to give it, and he doesn't even consult his linesman. He just points straight to the spot, and he's 25 yards further back and directly in line with it. So I don't think he knows for sure. Doesn't give him any time to think about it. So that's disappointing, and that happens. And then, like I said, from there, we not necessarily capitulate. We then, as I said, we were up against it, and I felt we'd be all right from then. Coming into the second half, we started brightly again. The third goal obviously again kills us probably a little bit, but yeah, started the second half brightly and looked like we were going to at least get back in it, and did. But again, the ref has had a huge impact on the game. Even there, their sending off, I think, is a sending off under the new rules, but again, he didn't apply those rules at other opportunities in the game. So it's just a real frustrating one, and I'm annoyed with myself for talking about it. So yeah, look, today I was really pleased second half with the number of crosses we got into the box and number of opportunities and chances we had. First half they only got into our box 3 times, and 2 of those penalties. So yeah, look, like I say, disappointing day for us in terms of result. And yeah, look, we'll have a week now and a good week of working on stuff to get better and prepare for our next game.
Yeah, so we don't want to stick on the conversation of referees, because it isn't something that we can change after the game's gone. But Dartford famously, they've got a man on their coaching staff that's watched some thousands of Premier League games over the years. You've got their management team that are very well experienced, our management team that have been in and around the game for a long time. And when the conversation's taking place at the end of 90 minutes of just how bad a performance can be and how much it's slowed things down and how much it's really sort of disrupted the game, they could have been sendings off today for 3 or 4 people for mandatory stuff, which maybe isn't necessarily on the referee, but maybe on the rule changes. But is it really necessary at this time to keep on doing the things that they're doing? I mean, like I say, spoiling the game. And I mean, outside of the decisions that were made today, I thought we were well on our way to another fantastic performance. It must be really disheartening.
Is there a question in there?
Yeah.
So look, I've said, look, it is disheartening, because we're not able to have as much control of games, just because the inconsistencies there. I know that's been a word that's bandied around for years, but look, I don't want to get into the performance of the referee. Like I said, if he applied the letters of the law that he applied throughout the game, the game would have finished with 6 aside. So look, it's disappointing. So I'd rather, like I said, just talk about the game.
Let's move on. A couple of your changes that you made today, Gary. One of them, Owen Windsor returning to the starting lineup. It was his goal that gave us a little bit of hope at 3-1. Another well-constructed move, and one of those crosses that we've been putting into the box all day caused a bit of confusion, and it was Owen Windsor that nodded past 𝗣cie to give us a little bit of hope, and it looked as if, to be fair, we were the team in the ascendancy at that point. Yeah,
we were. Like I said, half-time messages were strange in terms of, look, we wanted to continue to do the same things, but just a little bit better. We got to the byline and pulled some crosses back into the box, but the final ball just wasn't there. So the execution was just off a little bit. But yeah, Owens came in today. Alex Bray and his partner Alice are in the early stages of labour. So good luck to Alex and Alice. So that was why we had to certainly make one of those changes. And Faz is also struggling with a slight hamstring strain as well before the game. So So that impacts the number of changes or positive changes we can make, so to speak. So yeah, look, again, I still felt we were really, really competitive at that point. But again, look, another goal and some strange decisions seem to affect the game from start to finish.
The fourth goal kills it flat, Gary. At that point, obviously there is a sort of sense of inevitability. The 4-1 scoreline sort of fizzles out to there, and then it's planning ahead for next week. And as it stands at the moment, we don't have a game next week, so a little bit of an extended period for you to get on the training ground, work with the lads, get into them a little bit of time to have a bit of time to bond as a group. Unless, of course, there are any plans at the moment to get a game on that day.
No, like I said earlier, we'll have a free week, so we'll work on some bits this week, and prepare for our next game.
Good stuff. Well, Gary, commiserations for today, mate. I don't think the scoreline in any way, shape or form reflected the performance, but all the very best to you and your staff, and we will see you in a couple of weeks against St Albans.